Chelsea Football Club are champions of Europe again. I am so happy. We have won the youth equivalent of the Champions League, and it's incredible. They've done so well, our kids, and I'm so happy about it. And as a result, we are talking to our youth expert. It's Ali Maxwell. Ali, can you hear me all right?
Loud and clear, mate.
Brilliant. Ali, I'm absolutely buzzing. Tell me, how happy are you with that performance?
Yeah, it was incredible, Rory. As you say, champions of Europe, but unlike the senior team in 2012, who just created a miracle straight from the Bible almost, this was the opposite. Chelsea unders have made mincemeat of everyone they've faced this season. And the game itself, it was pretty much, although we lost to Schalke in the group stages, this was on paper the closest scoreline we've had. It was 3-2 against Shakhtar yesterday in Switzerland. But that scoreline does not represent what was pure domination from Chelsea. For maybe 15 minutes midway through the first half, just after our first goal, we stepped off the gas a bit, and Shakhtar got their first goal, a very unfortunate goal from our point of view, an own goal from Christensen. But other than that, it was all Chelsea. It could have been 4, 5, 6, which is a number of goals that we scored pretty regularly throughout the tournament against Maribor, against Roma in the semi-final. So really, you'll read a lot of reports this morning that might say that Shakhtar's second goal made it a nervy grandstand finish. In reality, that was the last kick of the game. The ref blew the whistle as we took kickoff. So don't read about nervy finishes and believe it. There was no nerves at all. 3-2 could have been 5. Champions of Europe, and fully deserved.
Oh, I'm so happy. It was so good, wasn't it? If I were to push you, I think that every single Chelsea player on that pitch was incredible. But if I were to push you for a man in the match, who would you go for? Who do we need to be keeping an eye on from this youth team?
Well, we do a very good job focusing in on some of these guys, and that I've got a soft spot for Jeremy Boga.
Yes,
obviously, Brown scored the 2 goals yesterday and lifted the trophy as captain. But Boga all day, I don't think he got tackled once. So he's my man of the match. But if you'll let me, I think it's worth mentioning the team as a whole, because sometimes, we focus in on 1 or 2 players.
No, please do. I think that's a really good idea, actually. Yeah, talk us through this team, because it's really important to know who to keep an eye on and how they're all developing.
Yeah, well, first thing to point out, which I think is important for a youth system, is that they play exactly the same way as the first team, as Mourinho likes it. And so, you hope that if and when these guys get a chance, the transition is a little bit easier in terms of style of play.
Really, that's very interesting. Does that come from Mourinho? Does Mourinho insist that the youth team play the same formation?
I think it will come from him. I think it will come from the heads of the youth system. Neil Bath himself will surely have that discussion. And, obviously it makes sense, but I don't think it's necessarily the same for every team and every youth system. Wow. But certainly for us, it's exactly the same. And what that means is you can quite easily transpose this youth team onto their Chelsea first team equivalents. So you've got Bradley Collins in goal. He'll have been very disappointed to concede 2, because neither were his fault, really. Christensen and Clark-Salter are the centre-backs, and the reason they stand out is how comfortable they are on the ball. You quite often see in youth team football centre-backs who are dominant physically because they're the tallest, biggest blokes in their year at school, but might not develop skills on the ball. But Christensen and Clark-Salter have no such troubles. You've got Aina and De Silva at right and left back, and they just do it all. Both wingers, Boga and Brown, they like to find space inside the pitch, which gives the fullbacks license to bomb forward. But they still fulfilled their defensive duties, and all year they've just been absolute live wires. Charlie Colkett, I know you love him, such a tidy player. Him and Loftus-Cheek, just bossing the midfield. Again, you just never feel like they're panicky on the ball, and they just provide the foundations for the spark plugs, and they are, of course, Boga and Charlie Musonda in the hole, and Izzy Brown, those 3 behind Solanke, who we know to be just an absolute sniper in the box. But Musonda, Brown, Boga, they're interchangeable. They can all play in behind the front man, out wide. And the way that they switch around is very reminiscent of Hazard, Oscar, Willian. And just the team in general, the way they played just made us so dominant. And Shakhtar, like a lot of teams in the Premier League, couldn't really deal with it. It's got balance, and it's got just creativity and ruthlessness, and we bossed it, mate.
Oh, that's wonderful. It's so good to hear, and wonderful analysis there. Can I ask? We all know what happened with Izzy Brown. He was brought back. He was on the bench against QPR, and he didn't get on. I think Mourinho suggested that one of the reasons he didn't is because he's more of a winger. he scored 2, didn't he? And he's perfectly capable of scoring goals. Do you think that he deserves a place in the Chelsea 11?
I think it's an interesting one, because I think it's a shame almost that at times that there are such sort of stringent positions that we have, like winger and striker. Because and I don't want to get people too excited, but I see a bit of Thomas Muller in Izzy Brown, in the sense that he's a very specific type of wide player, and that is, on the team sheet he'll be there on the right, but really you see him pop up with the first goal. He's arrived late into the box. He's found a pocket of space, and he's on the penalty spot when he puts that in. His second goal, he gets the ball out wide, but he's so comfortable just dipping inside. It was on his weaker foot, that left foot shot into the corner, and he took it so quickly as well. So I think he can do it all. Yes, he's very comfortable as a winger. He could get to the byline, use his pace and trickery, and cross balls in. But I think really what I saw from him yesterday especially was his ability to find gaps, maybe in between centre-backs and full-backs, which makes it just so hard to track. So,
absolutely.
I absolutely think he could have caused QPR problems. That sort of player who's so clever with space and movement will cause anyone problems. And I thought it was a big shame that he didn't get on. But it kept him fresh, and he scored the 2 goals.
It just seemed a bit disappointing to fly him back and then not introduce him at all. But, that's fair enough. It's good experience for him. Looking forward now, Ali, we've got Man City on Monday. This is another massive opportunity for us. These kids are doing so well. We need to hear your thoughts after that game, so we'd love to have a chat with you Tuesday. So, guys, if you're watching, we will be talking to Ali again about the youth team next week. Just give us a little bit of an insight into this game. Are you confident? Do you think that we'll beat Man City?
Yeah, I'm confident. I mean, the first leg's away, so that'll be tricky. And as you'd expect with a team like City, they've got a lot of talent in that youth system, quite a lot of foreign talent. One to watch for them is a French player called Thierry Ambrose. But of course, I'm confident. We've won it all. This group of players, they can do it all. They can go and squeeze out a result if they need to, and then bring it home. And that second leg at the Bridge will be great. Brilliant. The great thing about the timing is, Rory, is that cup will be over in time for exactly the date when I think we will win the league, which is home to Crystal Palace. Wonderful. That'll be 3 games. We'll have 3 games left. And those last 2, maybe West Brom away, Sunderland at home. The youth team, they'll be fresh and happy. They'll be winners.
Get them on, absolutely. Get them on the pitch.
Them on.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I cannot wait. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Ali, thank you very much for all of your insights. Really, really interesting. I love this segment. It's so, so good. Guys, comment. Let us know. Do you think that Chelsea are going to beat Man City? How delighted are you that we are youth champions? It's so, so exciting. And we're champions of Europe again. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe, and yeah, we'll be back next week talking to Ali. Cheers.